Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. Another big exciting day in my kitchen. Where are we going? What are we making? I'm thinking Mama Boreal's kitchen. It's Christmas time. Christmas music's playing. The tree's up. You know, you can start to get that aroma of Christmas in the house, you know, and the music's playing. I got Pandora Holiday Christmas, Frank Sinatra. I mean, cookies always come out better when you're baking to Frank Sinatra, you know what I'm saying? And today we're making ricotta Italian cookies, and these are truly a main staple. I can remember going in Uncle Lou's and Aunt Emily's house, and they would have this table filled with all different types of biscotti, with all different types of cookies. And boy, these are definitely one of the go-to cookies. There's no doubt about it. And they're fun to make. All right, so let's go over ingredients. Let's start having some fun. First, we're gonna need some flour. So I want 3.5 cups of flour. All-purpose is great. I prefer a pastry flour if you can get it. It's a little finer ground, lower protein content, makes for a more tender cookie, if possible. Ingredient number 2 in our main staple, really our center stage, you know, the name on the marquee here is going to be ricotta cheese. So here we want about a pound of ricotta cheese, about 16 ounces, which is going to be your traditional container. Now, my advice, it's holiday time. I'm not looking at fat content. I'm just saying. So my advice to you would be to go whole milk ricotta cheese. It's that fat that's going to give you the flavor, it's going to give you the texture, it's going to give you the moisture. That's what you want. Now it's time for dolce, now it's time for zucchero, now it's time for sugar, right? So we want to add that sweetness, so what we're going to add here is 1 3/4 cups of granulated sugar. We're going to need 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, not soda, baking powder, which is this stuff right here. That's your leavening agent. That's what's going to create bubbles inside the cookie, and it's activated by heat. So as the cookie heats up, it'll actually start to poof out. It'll give you that half moon, that half ball shape, which is classic to this type of cookie. We're going to need some vanilla. Oh, I love vanilla. Vanilla is just delicious. We're going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I remember as a kid, you know, you go in there and oh, the vanilla is going to taste great. And it tastes absolutely horrible because you need sugar, you know what I mean? You mix these two together, hey, you got something happening, but this, not so great. Anybody done that when they were kids? Same thing with the egg whites, right? You think it looks like whipped cream, you stick it in, it's like, oh, not so great. Next, we're gonna have some salt. Now, it seems kind of crazy sometimes, people that are new to baking, if you're adding salt, you're not gonna taste the salt, but salt is critical in bringing out the other flavors. So salt enhances sweetness, crazy as that is. So we're going to use about 1/2 teaspoon at best of salt. I tend to favor pink Himalayan. It's briny, it's earthy. Pink is sexy, let's be honest. Next, we're going to need some lemon zest. So I'm going to want 1 tablespoon of lemon zest. So you're just going to take a microplaner, works great, and you're going to zest a lemon into one of these dishes. A lot of times, Nono would make these with orange, so you can use an orange. We're going to use some juice here in a minute. I'll show you how to do that. So you can use lemon and orange, lemon only, orange only. You can use almond extract. You guys can do whatever you want. What I'm sharing with you is the traditional recipe that Mama Boreal, my mother, would make here in the kitchen. Next, we're going to have eggs. So 2 eggs, preferably free range, right? Free range organic eggs, and try to get them fresh. They're gonna look really bright orange when you open them up, and the flavor that they bring and the texture that they bring to your baking is really critical. I think it's understated. We're gonna need 8 tablespoons of butter, room temperature, non-salted butter, ideally. If you can't get non-salted, then my advice is do not add the salt and just use salted butter, okay? Just heads up on that. Now guys, those are the ingredients for the cookies, right? Awesome. But we're gonna wanna put frosting on top of the cookie, right? That's gonna be important. So now, just mental line here, I'm going in ingredients for the frosting. What are we gonna need? 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. That's right, you heard me right, 3.5 cups powdered sugar. Hey guys, it's Christmas. You're supposed to get diabetes over the weekend. I mean, let's be honest, okay? Number 2, we're gonna want 6 tablespoons of milk, whole milk, get that fat in there. 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, freshly squeezed. Boy, that's good, that is good. 1 teaspoon of vanilla, oh, that is so good, isn't that good? 1 tablespoon of butter, which we will melt, so we'll melt the butter when we mix it. We're gonna need some decoration. So this is gonna give you a white glazing over the top of the cookie, but now you want some Christmas stuff. So listen, go to the store, pick up some fun stuff. So colors of Christmas, I've got silver and white, pearl white and gold, and I've got green and red. So that's really a lot of fun. That's where the kids come and play. They love, absolutely love to decorate cookies. Couple other things to make this come out great. Really easy. You're gonna need that oven, middle rack ideally. Preheat your oven 350 degrees. You're gonna need a mixer for sure, guys. I'm gonna use a paddle. You can use the whisk, but if you do, don't whip it because you don't wanna whip up your frosting. You don't want to add a lot of air to it. So I think the paddle is a safer bet, and you're going to slowly blend all your ingredients. You're also going to need a cookie sheet. I'm a big fan of the parchment. Saves a lot of cleanup, prevents the cookies from sticking. This is just a must. So you want a tablespoon measurement and a little scooper, and this just makes life really easy. If you don't have that, then just grab a tablespoon measurement because you're going to use 1 tablespoon of a dollop that's going to make the cookie. I'm going to need a cookie prevention unit, which is this guy right here. It's a timer. So yeah, you got all this stuff on the phone, but I'll tell you that is just a lifesaver right there. And last but not least, guys, we need some olive oil. Now, olive oil does not go in this recipe, but if you were to add olive oil, and yes, that's an easy transition for you guys, then I would want something from Italy because they're making Italian cookies, right? I want something earthy. I want something really grassy. I want something with some robust cough, some robust flavor in there. And the best olive oil in the world comes from Puglia, Italy, which is right above the heel. And I happen to own a farm there. We co-op with a whole group of farms in that whole region to bring you some of the best extra virgin Italian olive oil you're ever gonna have. I named the company after my 2 boys, Vito and Joe. And you guys could click the link right above or below, or go to my Facebook page or my web page, Cooking Italian with Joe, and just click olive oil, buy it now, and we'll literally drop ship you, I don't know, if you're feeling crazy, right? 3, 4, 5 bottles of olive oil, we'll drop ship it right to your front doorstep. I like to think of it as taking a trip to Italy right in a bottle. So first thing I want to do is take my dry ingredients. I want to mix everything in a bowl. Dry ingredients will include my flour, baking powder, salt, and I'm going to take this and just with a whisk, just gently and slowly give it a nice stir. Now guys, I'm going to take my 2 eggs. Look at that shell, so fresh it wanted to jump right in the dish. Did you see that? I thought there was a chicken there. So I got both eggs in a dish. Over at the mixer, I'm gonna take my sugar, all of my granulated sugar, and I'm gonna take my eggs, the 2 fresh eggs, put them right in the mixer. So now what I wanna do is mix the egg and sugar mixture until you don't see any granules anymore, which I'm almost there. It's gonna become really white and kind of beautiful, and the granules are going to start to dissolve. Now that's beautiful, that's perfect. And now I'm going to just cube up my butter, which is at room temperature. I'm going to go ahead and throw my butter in there. Just throw a few in at a time, let that cream in. I'm going to throw my vanilla in. I'm going to put my lemon zest in. Now everything's mixed. I'm going to take my ricotta cheese, and I'm going to dump my ricotta cheese right in there. Guys, this is mixing really well. I'm just going to take the spatula, scrape the sides. So guys, I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a mix. Now guys, everything's mixed really well. So I'm gonna take my flour mixture and 1 scoop at a time, I'm gonna slowly add my flour into the mix. And just keep the mixer going nice and slow, and it's gonna make a thick dough. And don't rush this because you want your flour to hydrate and you want everything to mix well, and you don't want a lot of lumps. We don't want to build up gluten, so we're done. So what I'm going to do is pull the paddle off, and my dough mixture is perfect. And now guys, let's make life really easy. I need to put this in the refrigerator for about an hour or so, and that's again going to allow the flour to hydrate, absorb all those flavors and moisture, and that's going to give you a much better, more tender cookie. It's going to lift better. Guys, all this is set, so I'm just going to take the wrap and just put it tight over my dough. That way it doesn't dry out. Guys, my cookie dough is done, so I'm gonna throw this right in the refrigerator. Now I'm gonna leave it in there for at least an hour, minimal. A couple hours would be great, but you guys can leave it in overnight, no problem. But what you want is you want everything to hydrate, you want those flours to marry, and it's gonna make the dough a little bit easier to manage because it's a little sticky. So when it's really cold, it'll scoop out really easy, your cookies come out perfect. I'm headed to the fridge. Time to make the frosting. First thing, guys, just grab your powdered sugar. And real simple, I'm gonna add my milk. I'm gonna add my lemon juice. I'm gonna add my melted butter and my vanilla. Sometimes the moisture content of your sugar can be a little different. What you want is that ribbon consistency. See, when I let it drain off a spoon, it's nice and smooth and silky, and it stays like a ribbon. That's exactly what I want. So if you need to add a little bit extra confectionery sugar, don't worry about it. Start with the ingredients I gave you, and if it isn't that perfect consistency, guys, add additional confectionery sugar, 2 to 3 tablespoons at a time. Okay, our frosting's done. I'm gonna put this right in the refrigerator. Okay, guys, it's been just over an hour. Just pulled my dough out of the refrigerator. Got my little scooper, got my parchment paper, got my cookie sheet, oven's preheated 350, got my cookie prevention burn unit on patrol. So what do you say we get going here? Now I've got a beautiful scoop in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and set it right over here in the corner. Perfect. It's exactly what I want. Let's do one more. And you could put them about an inch apart. Beautiful. And now I'm gonna get going and just start making some cookies here. So these are all set. I'm gonna throw them in the oven. I'm gonna set my timer for 12 minutes, and I'm gonna check on them at 12. They'll go 12 to 15 minutes, just to give you a heads up. A couple of tips to make these come out fantastic before we get going. One, like I said, you gotta have some holiday music. 2, I'd get a latte going, maybe with a splash of eggnog. That's pretty good. 3, you gotta subscribe to the channel. There's a red button right there. When you click that button, boy, any new trips, recipes, we got a lot going on with the villa out in Italy. Everything will come right to your notification box when you hit that notification bell. And I mean this sincerely. It means a lot to me when you subscribe to our channel. Makes you part of the family. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget, you probably already did, but if not, click that buy it now. Grab yourself a few bottles of olive oil, not just for the holidays, but all year long. Certainly a trip to Italy right in a bottle. All right, what do you say? Let's get making some cookies. Hey guys, I just pulled these out of the oven. I just slid them off. That's what I'm looking for. Just the slightest, teeniest brown on the bottom. Just a beautiful, firm cookie on the top. Everything came out perfect. They're all almost exactly the same size. I had one little guy who wanted to turn on me just a touch. So that one I gotta eat, you know, just to test it, to make sure everything's all right. So I like to just put, I got a granite countertop. If you got a slab of marble or granite, it's really nice. If not, just put them on a cooling sheet and just let them cool. Let them cool really well, because we want to put that frosting out of the refrigerator. We want to put that on top of them, but the cookies have to be cool before we do that. I've got my frosting I just grabbed out of the refrigerator. I've got all my little decorations over there. I'm going to bring those over. So how we typically do in our family is we have stations. So somebody's going to grab the cookie, dip it, set it aside. Somebody else is going to decorate it. Somebody else is going to plate it. The adults usually have some kind of Prosecco going or spiked in the coffee with eggnog. I'm just saying. Got our frosting going, and then I'm just going to take the cookie. I'm going to dip the cookie, just give it a spin right in there. That's the easiest way to do it. And then you're just going to set it right down. Don't worry about the spillover as it starts to dry. We'll just clean that up. Guys, all the cookies are done. Doesn't that look great? So now it's just fun time. So I'm going to take some decorations, obviously Christmas colors. I've got some beautiful things and real fun, and this is just the fun part. While the frosting is still gooey, because it's going to harden up on you, pop a couple of the candies on it and just work your way around randomly and essentially just have some fun. So you're just going to use a butter knife. You're going to have some of the frosting left over, and whoever wants to can scrape that up and eat it. I'm not saying I ever did that. Always my favorite time, taste time. Oh yeah. I'm going to grab this puppy right here. Just perfect. And I just want to show you, I'm going to break this open here. Look at that. Is that gorgeous? See how it's very airy and tender? Just perfect. Now listen, you got to have some latte. You got to have some coffee. You got to have something going on here. So, It brings me right back to my mom's. It's so good. That's why I love these. That dolce, you know, dolce means sweet. So that beautiful lemon-infused frosting on the cookie, it just hits you. And then as you're chewing it, the cookie's sweet and it's cakey. And that frosting of the lemon and then the lemon zest within the cookie, you just pair each other, you get the vanilla. I mean, it screams Christmas morning. And you get that flavor of the ricotta, you know, that tangy, cheesy flavor in the backdrop. So good. And the lemon just keeps coming through, and it's so faint, it's delicate, you know. Oh yeah. Guys, thanks so much for joining me in Mom's Kitchen today. It really feels like Mom's Kitchen today. You know, the aroma of the cookies and the flavor and the music and spending time with family. Boy, I'll tell you, it brings me right back to my childhood, right back to Christmas. Now, guys, remember, hit that subscribe button, make you part of the family, you know what I'm saying? And hit the link above or below, or visit me on Cooking Italian with Joe, our Facebook page, or our web page. Click buy it now. You grab yourself a couple of bottles of olive oil. We'll drop ship it right to your front doorstep. And guys, the most important message and my most important tip always with all my videos, in fact, it's really the meaning behind my videos, is I want you to spend a couple days a month with your family around the table and tell stories and spend time with your grandparents. God bless you if you're still with them. And you know what? Celebrate your heritage. And more importantly than that, just like we did today, set some traditions that'll last you a lifetime. I know they did for me. Hey guys, from my kitchen to yours, until next week, mwah, buon appetito.